Hi, I'm Jay,
And I'm Erin.
and you're listening to episode 75 of the Salty Mother Clutches podcast.
I don't know how it's August, but it sure is August.
August happened. Summer happened.
July was a real blip in life.
Yeah, was the last episode in June?
I think it was late June. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe we recorded it late June, like because we were off for your birthday.
Right.
And then you might have put it out during that week. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been a month. That seems to be what we've been doing lately.
Yeah.
We're here, we're queer.
Yeah. Well, like we didn't want to do one like right after because we're going to do Queer Ride very soon after the last episode. So we're like, well, we'll just wait till after we do Queer Ride.
Yeah.
And then we'll have like some, positive queer moto brains to work off of. And then Queer Ride happened. And that was like 3 weeks ago.
No.
Almost, is it?
Wasn't it 2 weekends ago?
2 weekends?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe 2 weeks.
2 weekends ago. But it felt like
it feels like it's forever.
It feels like a busy 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because we've been pretty much acting like we've been on vacation for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like we're working, we're going to our jobs. And then when we're not at our jobs, we're like, let's have a date and let's be on vacation. And then we're like at the beach and we're riding motorbikes and going out for breakfast and having a fun summer.
We're trying really hard to have a fun summer to the point where we're like trying to make everything an event.
Yeah.
Like every night's like, all right, what are we going to do tonight for our date or for our event, for our thing? And it's like, we're just getting groceries, but we make it like
an event.
Yeah. Like wearing heels on a Sunday morning. Now it's an event. It was just waking up on a Sunday morning and having breakfast. Now it's a fucking showstopper.
I don't know if our people that listen would realize that this is typically our Cabot Trail weekend. We always go on this holiday long weekend, the very 1st of August. And we are not on the Cabot Trail. We didn't go last year and we didn't go this year. Got some.
Well, last year my bike was exploded.
Was it?
Into a million pieces.
And we were probably not quite. Oh yeah, we did have the Suzuki on the road, but we just got it on the road.
Yeah.
So by that point, we probably had canceled our trip. And then this year, it just wasn't in the cards for us. And so I have a long weekend off, and we've just been on vacation. For anyone who cares, my Builtwell Gringo still burns my forehead off. It hurts my forehead so much that I get red spots. A red spot.
Yeah.
It hurts so much.
So it's like a little update. Gringos still suck. Sportsters still suck.
So I want a cool...
Comms still suck.
I want like a cool-ish looking helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the look of the Gringo. So if I could get a helmet that's sort of like that functions with a visor like that, opening and closing easy enough.
Mm-hmm.
Plain helmet. If anyone has a recommendation, I'm here for one. I was looking them up on Fortnite, just different types of helmets, and I was looking up Bell, and I was looking up different brands. And it's sort of like, I mean, a couple of years ago, if you were like a chick going to the mall looking for a pair of jeans, you couldn't find a pair of jeans that wasn't bedazzled to death.
Yeah.
I don't want a bedazzled helmet. I mean, a little glitter's fine, but I just want plain.
Yeah.
And not hurt my head. I don't want a headache.
I was also kind of in the market for a new helmet. Because I got a new visor for the Gringo.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And then you're like, I hate this.
Well, no, I was on the fence. Like, do I spend like fucking $70 on a tinted visor, or do I just get a new helmet? Because my helmet's already a few years old.
Yeah.
Helmets are so fucking expensive, and I would just opt for the visor. But when I was looking at other helmets to buy, they're all just so fucking ugly.
I know.
It's like, I just want, one color. I don't want any designs.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like fucking spaceships. Like, remember in like the, not even the late 90s, but like the early 2000s, like every car went from like a classic, like
cube,
car. It looked like
like
a
a
car.
little rectangle.
Yeah, it was a box on wheels.
Yeah.
And then it turned into a fucking spaceship.
Everything was a round bubble.
Yeah, and they did the same thing to motorcycles. They did the same
Yeah.
thing with like the Boulevard line. That was like a cool, sleek little bike. The
Yep.
fender was only big enough to cover the tiny little tire and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then they started making the fenders like, 8, 9, 10 inches wide. And it's like, and the tail light is like the size of my fucking skull. It's like, this is completely unnecessary and totally space age. And it's like, that's what helmets look like now. They look like they're from fucking, like, I don't know.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah, I guess. I was going to say like Tron, but like that's, what's the superhero that's like dressed in red and gold? Do you know?
I don't know.
Come on, kids. Like, like
I don't know.
there was a movie out recently. A lot of kids were into it.
I have no idea.
Red spandex suit, gold. He's got like a rocket booster pack, something shit like that. Rocket Man.
Yeah, Rocket.
Is Rocket Man a thing? Okay, so they have all these helmets like Rocket Man, and I just not into that. I want something that's just simple, not spacey. I don't need like vents every 2 seconds with like decals telling me which direction the wind should be going in my vents. Like, it's fucking foolish.
I mean, the Gringo is really like, that's just an exercise in aesthetic, right? It's like, if I was gonna go from like a little like shorty derby style helmet to like a full face helmet, like I needed it to still be kind of like low profile and have like a good look. And then like all that did was kick me in the ass because it looks good and you look like all the other kids doing cool things, but it sucks. It fucking sucks. And like you ride for 2 hours and you're just like every 2 seconds pushing your helmet in different directions, trying to like ease up the pressure.
Yeah.
And because people are gonna be like, okay, idiot, you have the wrong size. I'm just gonna say, I have tried the size up at which you have, and I've tried the size down. I have the right size. It's just the actual shape on the inside's not right.
Yeah, shape is dumb. It's shaped for an American brain.
I guess like I got like this unicorn bump on the front of my. It must be like my widow's peak is just like really thick widow's peak. So like.
But like it's important to have a helmet that fits good and like feels good while you're riding, but also doesn't look stupid.
Yeah.
Like I figure if I ever really have to use my helmet, it's because I crashed. And if it's really going to do its job and save my life in a crash, like there's a slight possibility, at least on Prince Edward Island, that like a, deceased crashed transsexual on a motorcycle might appear on the news. So I need to be wearing a good helmet. If they're going to be showing my body,
because you think they're going to like show a video of you dead with a very fashionable helmet in the ditch.
I hope so. I hope so.
God.
I don't want to like them be taking like forensic photos and shit like that and be wearing some like dorky red helmet with like yellow decals from Canadian Tire. Like, it's
like Rocket Man.
Like Rocket Man, speed 4,000. Like, no, I don't want that on file. No, I need to look. If I'm going to be like, if I want to honor my heritage as a dead transsexual on the news, I need to do that in some sort of style. That's it. That's all.
We certainly did not sit down with the plan of doing like full helmet reviews, but here we are. Sure. Queer Ride and Meetup.
So last year we held this thing and we went this thing we did. I went from Victoria PEI to Kensington. Very short ride. Very like, ragtag group of people. Yeah. Good people.
Yeah.
But it was like a really small, intimate group. We had a huge turnout at the meetup itself.
The first meetup.
Meetup. And then fewer people on the actual ride with motorcycles.
Yeah.
And this year was the opposite. I found, which I was totally shocked by.
Yeah.
So starting in Charlottetown, which is like our capital city, on the first day or second day of our Pride Festival. And like there's other events happening. There's lots of commotion, but like I was like, okay, well, there's some excitement around Pride this year, so I think there's going to be more people showing up at the event, like just the meetup part,
Yeah.
like for coffee and treats and just being around queerness and
And we were located just outside of like a blocked off section of downtown Charlottetown. So like there's a lot of foot traffic there. There's
Mhm.
lots of like cafes and businesses around. So, for sure we were in a place that like people might see us and be like,
Yeah,
what are these people doing over
yeah,
here?
yeah. It's like we're in the middle of like not a lot of drive-by traffic, but
Yeah.
a lot of walking traffic
Yeah.
in that area.
Which is great.
Um, but I was shocked like that. I mean, I spent most of the meetup at a barricade directing traffic,
Yeah.
but I was shocked that there wasn't more like just non-riders there at this
Mm,
one. There was more non-riders at the first meetup the
yeah.
first year
Yeah.
than this year, but we more than made up for it in
In
bikes
riders.
and
And
actual riders.
it was like just like last year, like we have this like, well, I for sure, speaking for myself, I have this little bit of fear that's like, well, what if no one shows up?
Hmm.
And I kept telling myself like the stakes couldn't be lower because the point was we were trying to raise money for Peers Alliance,
Yeah.
a local organization that offers, sexual health supports and harm reduction supports, I guess,
Yep.
locally. And we had already raised a bunch of money through sponsorships.
Yeah.
So if no one came by and dropped $5 in the box, that part didn't really matter because we actually raised quite a good chunk of
We
money.
raised enough corporate money to begin with, but
And so like if you and I are the only people that show up on motorbikes and I just ride a motorbike with you, like that still fucking rules to me. So I kept telling myself like, so what? Like if people on motorcycles don't show up, like effectively the event was a success before we arrived.
mhm,
And then bikes showed up.
yeah,
And they all showed up like wicked early.
yeah,
Like people were there. Almost there was one bike that came, I don't know, maybe halfway through like the meetup part, but everyone else was there before the event even started. It was
yeah,
just bikes were riding in and they were strangers and they were queer people and it was like, holy shit,
yeah.
this is cool.
It was very cool. Um, and I think like I got hung up on a thought here about thinking about the Pride Parade itself,
Yeah.
um, and how easy it is for people to attend now. Like the parade here is huge compared to
Mhm.
what it was, and
Mhm.
it's like it's so easy for people to just like go to the parade, like whether they're out as like bi pan or whatever the fuck.
Mhm.
Like these otherwise like straight passing people are like marching in this parade now.
Yeah.
But it's like part of me, the cynical part of me is like, I remember watching the parade go down Queen Street like a decade ago,
Yeah.
and there'd be like one car, a couple people walking, like one person maybe in drag, like,
Yeah.
and it's like to be walking in that crowd of people is like, there's not more queer people here all of a sudden,
Right.
but there's like that many people out on their own trying to like break ground and like trying to do something.
Mhm.
Um, and we're kind of in that stage of Queer Ride and Meetup where we're like, maybe we're the only people going to show up.
Right.
Maybe us and like a couple of friends are going to show up, and that's it. And we have to make a big deal out of it because we want this to happen again. We want more people to come out.
Yeah.
Um, but it's not easy for people to come out because they themselves don't know how successful the meetup's going to be or
Right.
the ride. So, not to say that we're ever going to be as big as like a pride parade or anything like that, but
Right.
it's like that's I think a big difference is people are afraid to come because they don't want to be the only ones.
Yeah.
It's like you would never go to the Pride Parade 10 years ago if you thought you were going to be one of six people
Yep.
because that's too many eyeballs on you.
Yep.
But if you're like one of like 600 people, then that's easy.
And there's also like no question, like no one's questioning, "Oh, are they gay? Oh, is that person an ally?"
Right?
Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter because
Yeah.
everybody's there and like there's a bit of like safety that comes with those numbers.
Yep.
And I was saying this to you earlier today about how I thought it was really cool. We had like a couple. I'm going to make a guess here, okay?
Mhm.
So like don't hold me to it, but we had a couple straight dudes there. They
As there should be.
Yeah, they should be. And I was saying how cool it was for them to show up because they were definitely in the minority of the group. They didn't try to take over the event, steal the show, stand out, do anything. But them being there added numbers to us.
Yeah.
Which in turn makes us safer.
Yeah.
And as well, it says like a big like, hey, this is the side I'm standing on. You know, when you have like a group of queer people and just the odd straight dude there, like who's there just like a friend, there to support those people. Like that is fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's important. It's important for them to show up.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people look at an event like that and they don't attend because they go, oh, it's only for queer people. It's only for queer riders.
Right.
And then they're like, well, I don't want to ride with them because I'll feel like people might think that I'm gay.
Right.
And it's like,
and that could be a true concern.
And that it is a true concern. And I would just say, how do you think that makes the rest of us feel? Like, we don't get to decide. We don't get to choose, right? That in itself is the definition of homophobia.
Yeah.
You're afraid to be seen as queer.
I'd give these guys gold stars in allyship because they were doing the thing. And it couldn't have been easy, but they made it look pretty fucking easy, which fucking rules.
Especially like this group being a predominantly queer riding group. Like the straight people were in the minority this time around. Right? And guess what? It feels uncomfortable to be in the minority, guys.
And I was like, and we're the cis people in the minority? Like, there's a lot of trans people too. Like,
yeah, they're actually, trans represent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us there. Which is just like so good.
Can we just say this? And also, so we were riding with like, there was 12 people on bikes, right? So we're riding with people for the first time.
Yep.
Like
meeting some people for the first
very
time.
first
some
time.
People we knew like, through other events and stuff.
Yeah. And some people, like there was one person that was there that was at the meetup last year, but this year they were on the back of a motorcycle.
Yeah.
They
recruited. They upgraded.
They recruited a rider to this event, which is pretty great. But we got to ride with people who were, some had no experience in group riding. Some were new riders. Some were longtime riders that we just have never been riding with.
Yeah.
And I was leading that group. You were at the back. And everyone rode really well. Like unheard of.
Yeah.
Like we rode for, it would have been over an hour, I think, like traffic and stuff. And when we arrived into the Kensington meetup, one of the first things I said to our friend Kara, who was there setting up, I was like, I don't think I've ever been on a group ride with that many motorcycles for that length of time that we didn't have to stop ever.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have to stop. I pulled over just for like a second in town because we were kind of losing people just naturally because we were trying to get through sets of lights.
Yeah.
But everyone caught up and everyone just like, it was fucking awesome. Everyone showed up with gas. Yeah. Everyone rode in a staggered formation. Everyone looked like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I rode at the back.
Yeah.
Mostly like to take one for the team as like part of the organizers, to keep the pack together and like, do whatever traffic stuff needs to happen or, if someone were to break down or whatever, at least someone from our quote unquote official group is there to like look out for people.
Yeah.
But I saw it as very much like taking one for the team, going to ride at the back behind the slowest rider, and it's going to be the worst fucking ride ever. And you see all sorts of like riding behaviors when you're at the back, and it's cringy as fuck. But I was shocked, like the whole ride, like, getting lost in like sets of lights in the city, that's to be expected, whatever.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And like
actually, we had a plan for that too.
We had a plan, we'd meet up at the end of town or whatever. And like our comms were actually great for that because we were going slow enough and we were riding tight enough
Mm-hmm.
that like I could continually let you know like where the back of the pack was
Oh my
and
God.
how far back we were.
The good thing about the comms for us was that all we needed to say was, like, you would say, "We're through," and I'd
Yeah.
be like, "Cool," and that'd be it. And
Yeah.
every set of lights would be like, "We're through." Okay, cool.
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about it. And like the whole way there, like I would never know that any of these riders were new riders or have
Mm-hmm.
never been in a pack before. Like, and we complain about pack riding a
A
lot,
lot, yeah.
like a lot. So like for any listeners that have been a long time listener that know how much we like are picky about who we ride with and how they ride, like this was unheard of. Like this group of riders of like queer new riders, never rode with a pack before,
Yeah,
like all rode like fucking pros.
yeah,
Like we all rode fast when we needed to go fast.
yeah.
We passed people when we needed to pass people, but we didn't ride like dipshits.
Mm-hmm.
We were all perfectly staggered unless we needed to go single file to pass like another
Yeah.
bike or motorist or pedestrian or whatever. Um, it was just like so fucking seamless.
Yeah, it
That,
was.
like
It was
this,
unbelievable.
I couldn't even recall like the last time that has happened. Like it would have been it was like me, you, Big Al, and Tom and
Jeff?
Jeff
Yeah.
probably. Like it's just so
And that
rare.
was a lot of years ago.
Yeah, and like half as many bikes. Like
I think that was like 2016.
a long time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
half as many
so,
bikes.
so half as many bikes and like it's easier to do it.
Yeah.
But like with this many bikes and like everyone just riding so fucking good and like it just put such a smile on my face. Like as we were
Yeah.
hitting the turns on the highway, I'm just like smiling and like we're going through like the central coastal route, like along the shore and through Cavendish and all this stuff. And like just like seeing the string of bikes in front of me, two lines, perfect, all
Mm-hmm.
riding in a pack, no big gaps.
No one's
Like
swerving all over the place.
no one is all over the road. No one's driving up the fucking middle of the lane like a
and everyone was paying attention, obviously,
yeah.
in order to keep that momentum. Like there was no one that was like lagging back and then
Yeah.
speeding up. It was like
Yeah.
everyone was actually, for a group of people that you didn't even know, they were being very predictable
Uh-huh.
and consistent.
Yeah.
Which is like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. Like
Mhm.
I will 100% be like hounding these people to ride together
Yeah.
again.
Like it doesn't take long for us, and I'll say like us and like anyone who's been riding long enough to be around other riders.
Mhm.
It doesn't take long for you to assess what other riders are like
Yep.
and then know what your position is going to be relative to them.
Mhm.
And like sometimes you're like, I'm staying way back from this person,
Yeah.
or like I'm doing whatever
Yeah.
because this person's a dipshit. And like this group is no different. I'm like assessing everyone and what's going on. I'm assessing the bike ahead of me, which I think was Brian, was
Okay.
directly like, in front of me,
Yeah,
but
okay.
not like
Oh yeah.
ahead of me.
Yeah.
Like head into
Brian from My Best Ride.
from My Best Ride.
Our TV show we were on.
Yeah, that maybe you can't watch anywhere. That's not true. I think it's still on Bell. I think.
Oh,
I
okay.
think you can still watch it if you have
Whoa.
Bell 5 TV.
So it was
Anyway,
like you and then directly ahead of you was Brian and then in between you was Evan and Kylie?
no, there was a person didn't catch their name. There were two up on.
Oh, Corey
I
and
don't-
Matthew.
Okay, like after riding behind them through the town and like once we get on the highway, like I already assessed it. Like I can ride really close to this person.
Right.
Like, and it's maybe they don't want me there. I don't know.
Right.
But it's like I feel that they're predictable enough in the way that they're riding that I know where I need to be. And like I was able to assess that and like props to them because they rode like fucking pros.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I could ride with these people for
And
sure.
two up.
Yeah. The whole thing was just like a shocker of like, hey, how smooth the event was, how great the ride was, how great the riders were. Riding into Kensington and like we all pulled in onto this like
Oh my god, it was gnarly.
yeah, so it's like it's a no parking area. It's like for picnic tables and shit like that, like this brick
It's the
area.
town square.
Town square. So we had permission from the town to park there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to kind of hop up onto the curb, onto the sidewalk to like get up there. So it was a bit dicey.
Okay, but we did scope it out in advance, and I did warn everybody. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go in over, like, hop this kind of curb in a crosswalk and enter this like brick town square.
Yeah.
And if you want to bail, instead of keeping to the left, just keep right, and you're in a parking lot.
Yeah.
So you're in a parking lot. You're safe.
Yeah. But like, I would think that like if in any group we would be riding with before, like not going to name any other group, but like any other group we would have been riding with, there would have been at least some people that would have bailed on that part.
Oh,
like 100%.
half people.
Yeah.
Yeah, half
And like
people.
we're like, I call it dicey, but it's not that dicey. Like you're just riding up on a sidewalk, guys.
I was just
Like,
a little more concerned for people who had passengers.
Yeah.
Just because, like, you know, you're like yourself, sure, and you could probably throw your feet down and just duck walk turd yourself over the curb. But like with a passenger,
but everyone was rock stars.
I
Everyone went in like perfectly single file up onto the sidewalk, over the curb, turned the exact way that we wanted people to turn, and all parked in a fucking
in a perfect
row.
line. Okay, so I was the first bike in, you were the last bike in, right? So I was first bike in, and I just went all the way down to the end and parked.
Yeah.
And as everyone was following my lead, it takes me 2 seconds to get off my bike, right?
Yeah.
I got off my bike, and everyone was in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching, like, by the time I was parking, everyone was kind of still riding. We were kind of almost riding in like a circle the way we were turning in there. And so I could see everyone turning in. By the time I had my ass off my seat, I was like, everyone is in town square.
Yeah.
No one got stuck out on the road trying to turn left across traffic and letting cars.
Well, we cut the traffic off.
Yeah. Just
We
everyone
cut them off.
did it.
Yeah.
Everyone did it. And then there were people across the street cheering, I love gays.
I know, that was so good. Kensington is like so gay. It's lovely.
It's not, but
it was that day.
The gays showed up and were like, this is our gay town.
Yeah, we're calling it.
Yeah.
So it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. But that also reminded me when we were going through Charlottetown, through the city. Like we're riding in a pack. We have our road blocked off that we were on. Like the police blocked it off for us. That was fine. But we don't have any special traffic helpers getting us out of the city.
Yeah.
So my plan was to just cut off traffic as much as we can.
Yeah.
And being at the back, like I can do that once, but I didn't even have to.
Yeah.
So when we were going through like stop signs and things like that, like once you were ready to go, we all just went. Like
that's funny.
There was no 4-way stopping. Like there was just everyone just went like as they should.
Yeah.
Like to keep the pack together. And like traffic was respectful of that. They're like, shit ton of bikes.
Yeah.
So they let all the bikes go. Like the people stopped in the intersections and like would wave us all through.
That's awesome.
Like,
I mean, when I stop, like I like to stop when I'm leading. I'll watch and make sure that the last person has a chance to stop.
Yeah. And
at the same time, I'm like watching for a time to turn that I think I can get 9 motorcycles out or whatever, right? And like, it just, I'm sure if you're like bike number 2 and you're like, why are we still stopped at this stop sign? It's like, I want everyone to have a second to stop and then put some trust in me. And now it's time to go.
Yeah.
And I love to see it when people are like, you know, there's the trust, and they were also riding well enough. They had us convinced they weren't new riders, that they were also aware of what's happening on the road. So not to put themselves in danger. And it seemed like it went like, it's never going to be that good again. Like we've just played our fucking card there, like our get out of jail free card.
We should just retire the whole, the whole event.
So I would say the event was a success. It was it had differences from last year. Like you said, how last year the meetup was bigger than the ride. This year the motorcycles and the ride part was bigger than the meetup. So I guess we just have a little bit of soul searching to do to decide going forward to next year, because we're 100% going to do it again. So it's like next year, maybe we'll change some things to add more focus to the meetup. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll decide. We'll decide, I guess, through the fall, through the winter.
Yeah. I'm just going to take a little moment to firstly express my disappointment that Centennial Auto Group and Centennial Motorsports declined to
Sponsoring.
sponsor the event in any capacity
Yeah.
because they didn't have enough money. They're like a fucking huge dealership on the island. They own many, many like makes and
Yeah.
dealerships.
They have
And
two of their dealerships are like motorcycle specific, right?
yes.
Okay.
So like incredibly disappointed that they decided not to sponsor this event. I'm gonna call them out next year and see what they say. I'm gonna call them out very early next year.
Yeah.
To see if they'll throw us anything. But just wanted to throw it out there that also fuck them right
Yeah.
now.
Seriously, I'm pretty sure. I mean, you're the one that got that email back, and
Yeah.
it sounded to me like it was the generic copy paste. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, we've used up all of our budget for
Yeah.
this year, and it was like, dude, it's like March. Fuck off.
Yeah.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay the gays. You
Yeah.
do not support queer riders.
It's very much the letter I got seemed like we do not support this event.
Yeah.
Which is, unfortunate. So I'll know next year whether they decide to, because I'm going to ask very early in the fiscal year,
Yeah.
basically. And if they decline again, then I might kick up a stink about it. But regardless of that, also would take a moment on our non-commercial podcast to thank our sponsors. Because, and I honestly mean it, like, because Central Coastal Tourism was our
big
presenting sponsor this year. So, like, they were fucking amazing. They basically said, here's the money, do whatever you want. If you need anything, let us know. They hooked us up with the Gallery Cafe in Charlottetown.
For the first meetup.
For the first meetup. And like they got us stickers, hashtag We Love PEI stickers with the Queer Ride branding and stuff. So like super, super fucking thankful for them to be on. And like, I mean, I'd love to have them back again next year if we, have to do that same ride again. Like, so be it.
Yeah, I mean, we can even adjust that area of the ride. And
yeah,
I mean, Central Coastal PEI is like the place to ride.
It's the place to ride. Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to attract people from like Capital City too. It's like, you have to do that.
Mm-hmm. And it made sense with our sponsors this year anyway, because it is a ride between Charlottetown and Kensington, and we have the town of Kensington as a sponsor.
Yeah. That was new this year.
That was brand new.
And the mayor met us in Town Square,
Yeah,
like
the
with
mayor
a
was
suit,
there waiting for us.
ready to shake hands.
Yeah, huge queer supporter.
Yeah.
Or supporter of the queers, I should say.
Yeah.
The Willow Bakery and Cafe was on again as a sponsor this year, their second year in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Super thankful for that. And Discover Charlottetown.
Yeah, that was a new sponsor for us.
So they're new. I like to do more with Discover Charlottetown, I think.
Yeah.
I think we could have done a bigger Charlottetown side of that.
Yeah.
But next year, maybe.
Well, I mean, this was our first time doing it in Charlottetown. We did the first year in Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we're going to let our location be determined by our sponsors, but if our sponsors are going to determine our location, then perhaps we'll have kind of a wish list of things that we'll want from them to make it big for them and big for us, right?
Yeah.
So that, it's mutually satisfying and
Yeah, just whatever works. Like the first year was like a sponsor was basically you gave us $5, you're a sponsor.
Tell us you want to be a sponsor and you're a sponsor.
Yeah. And it's like we're gonna come and do this whether or not you're a sponsor or not. So if you want to donate some money to a good cause, all the better.
Yeah.
But now that like the event's gotten bigger and we have more options to go, and we have more people to tag along with us.
Yeah.
There's a bit more things to consider and on where we go, what the route's going to be, and like sure, absolutely, it's going to be dependent on sponsors. As long as we can still get riders to go and people to show up.
Yeah.
That in balance with the sponsor and how much money they want to give to Peers Alliance, like that's what it's about. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Another like cute thing that I want to say is, it's a little promotion of our merch store. But there's been people buying merch lately, and shout out to you for showing up at the event wearing like Queer Ride merch to the event. And like we just got tagged the other day from Ian in Nova Scotia wearing a Salty Mother Clutchers shirt on the Cabot Trail this weekend, which is just, like, makes my heart feel funny because I want to be on the Cabot Trail wearing a Salty Mother Clutchers shirt. That's really cool. People have been buying merch from us. That's a big help.
Yeah.
It's also like it's just really cool to see people in salty shit. Like
It is, yeah.
it's very cool.
Yeah, and even like the queer ride stuff at the event, like seeing that on the shirts and the stickers and everything was like cool. If you haven't gotten a queer rides or salty sticker, either come to one of our events, or order one online, stick it on your helmet, stick it on your bike.
Yeah, we have
This is the fucking shit.
We have like stickers, like stickers, regular ones, and then we also have like the more heavy duty decal ones.
Yeah.
That like will hold up a lot better on your fender or whatever.
So I have on my bike, because it's a Sportster and I fucking suck, I have the "You Know What Fucking Sucks" sticker stuck on my bike.
Yeah.
So if you really want to be the cool guy, buy the "You Know What Fucking Sucks" stickers and then stick those on your friends' bikes.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're cheap. They're like $5 or $6 and free shipping. And that I don't care if you're in the US, I'll still ship it to you for free.
Anyway, you know what fucking sucks?
What fucking sucks?
Sunburns.
Oh, girl, you are just the sunburn queen.
For starters, I'm like praying that like we didn't do sunburns already, and I don't know how we couldn't have.
Oh, we must have.
We must have, in like a fucking sucks, or at least mentioning it somewhere, but I couldn't think of it.
Okay, so this couldn't be about you riding the whole queer ride with basically no clothes on, getting burnt to shit.
Yeah, it's literally about that.
So, like, I'm like the sunburn police. I've got my sunscreen in my commuter. I've put it on before I left, and I didn't even know, because you're all the bikes away from me, that you didn't have your sweater on or anything. And then at the end of everything, I see you are a lobster.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I'm not now.
Yeah, you were a lobster.
Yeah, but I mean, so we started the day foggy, kind of rainy, whatever.
Yeah.
I've like my SPF moisturizer on, and I have a full face helmet, so I'm not concerned about
your
my
face is
my
good.
face.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm wearing a sweater, and I'm gonna wear my salty hoodie during the ride in case there's any photos or videos, and like a salty promotion. And that's what I'm gonna do. So I was like, I don't really need sunscreen on my arms,
because I'm gonna have them covered.
I'm gonna have them covered.
Yep.
And then we show up at this event, and I'm at this barricade directing traffic for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
And it's just getting more
And it's
humid
like
and hot.
humid. It's like 36 degrees with like the humidity. I'm like drenched in sweat. It gets time to go, and I'm like about to put my sweater on, and I'm just like, fuck, like I cannot. I'm thinking of the ride out of town. Like it's gonna be stop and go. There's a lot of stop signs, a lot of traffic. I'm like, and I'm at the back of the pack, so we're gonna be not going that fast. I'm like, I'm just gonna be way too fucking hot getting out of town.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna throw it in my bag and then go. So I just wore a tank top.
Yeah.
The queer ride tank top.
Burnt your shoulders, burnt your chest, burnt your arms.
Burnt everything.
And how do you feel about that?
I mean, I regret it right away, but also I don't fucking care.
So you regretted it for like 2 days and then maybe even 5 minutes?
I mean, I don't care about getting the sunburn itself, I guess. Like it's not painful. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't that doesn't bother me. I hate having the tan lines. That's been driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Now, no matter what I wear, I have this fucking tank top tan lines.
Yeah.
And my bra strap on one shoulder was off just a little bit. So I got that extra line on that one arm. So that's been driving me fucking crazy.
It's funny too, because even as soon as we got parked at the second meetup in Kensington, the first thing I did was take out the sunscreen and do my arms again. I was wearing clothes, so I didn't have any skin exposed. But the first thing I did was like, okay, here's my sunscreen. And I left it on the seat of the bike in case anyone wanted it. And like, you're the bike next to me. And you're like, no.
I was talking to the mayor. I was busy being a diplomat.
Yeah, I think you're right. Sunburns, they really suck. And I don't know how people ride without clothes when it's 35 degrees and just get burnt every day. Yeah. They just keep getting burnt.
I don't know, like those people that ride and they basically look like they are brown leather.
Yeah.
Like they
That's
look
what
like
you're
they've
gonna
just
look
been too
like
much sun. Not me.
when you're older,
Oh
yeah.
no, not me. No, ain't gonna happen.
Not gonna happen to me.
Older? Old ain't gonna happen.
Oh, old, yeah.
No,
No.
not a thing.
Nope.
But like even getting sunburns like on like your wrist, like between
Oh,
your
yeah.
gloves and your sweater. Like I don't wear fingerless gloves anymore, but like that used to be a pain because you didn't put fucking sunscreen on your knuckles.
I used to, and I would I mean, I have like some sort of like sensitivity,
Yeah.
but like when I burn or even get too much sun and not burn, I blister.
Mhm.
So I get these itchy blisters on my knuckles and stuff, and I'd be like, why? And then just still keep wearing them. Like, okay, ding dong.
Yeah.
Now I don't wear them.
Anyway, I've had a lot of really crappy sunburns over the years. Like
Yeah.
I remember one time I think it was in Summerside going for a ride up west or something like that. I think it was right after I got this tattoo, actually, the Davila motorcycle tattoo.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be sleeveless because of the weather and the sun, but I wore a sweater for some reason and I wanted to keep my tattoo covered out of the sun.
Yeah.
So my sleeve ended up going right to the bottom of my tattoo.
Uh-huh.
Keep my tattoo covered, but then I had a sunburn from the bottom of this tattoo.
Oh. So it looked like you were
yeah.
wearing 3/4 sleeves.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
cool.
it looked like I was wearing like the black metal, like fucking gauntlet
Gauntlets.
things. Yeah. Anyway, fucking
You should have
sunburns.
saved that for another fucking sucks.
What?
Gauntlets.
Just go. Oh, like
Just
the gloves.
gauntlets.
Gauntlets.
I
Yeah.
might phone that one in next week.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of suck. They kind of don't.
The gauntlets?
Yeah. We wore them forever.
I didn't wear them forever. I
I
owned some.
own some. I use them an awful lot. Like I was gonna say, doing our winter riding,
Yeah.
like riding in November and
Yeah.
March and April and stuff.
I
Yeah.
found they were really hard to wear because they were like really stiff leather. Like I never could like break them in.
Yeah.
So I just found I couldn't really close my grip well enough, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can't fucking deal with this. I thought they were going to be cool. I think when I first saw them, I was like, those are the
Mhm.
gloves for me.
Yeah. Well, they were cool. Like if you put them on first and then put your jacket on second.
Yeah.
Then you're not going to get any wind up your sleeve.
Yeah, or bees.
Or bees. But you can only do that the once, or else you have to basically get under. It's like wearing a romper.
Oh, like
you have to get fully undressed to
if
put
you
it all
like
back on in the right
your
order.
if you take your gloves off because you're getting gas or something,
Yeah,
you're not going to take your whole coat off.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're riding in like November.
Yeah.
You have to get undressed to get redressed for the bike. Fucking dumb.
Bike romper.
Bike romper. So yeah. It's like, you know what fucking sucks? Sunburns and gauntlets.
And gauntlets.
And fingerless gloves, actually. Fuck all that shit. Wonder if I can hit the button with my foot.
Doubt it. Oh my god, gross.
Hi, I'm Joyce Land.
And I'm Erin Jill Seppi.
We were on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
A little bit. A motorcycle. Motorcycles?
We were each on a
Each on
motorcycle.
our own individual motorcycles. Hi, I'm Aaron.
Yeah, just don't even wear one.
Yeah, fuck helmets, man. I got a way better haircut. Sorry.
It's a me, Giuseppe.
I've said dipshit an awful lot today. Spicy MILFs podcast. That's
Yeah.
probably already a podcast.
Yeah,
Dark hole.
I'll show you a dark hole.
I bleach my dark hole. Fuck that. Fuck you. Fuck
I don't know
that thing.
I don't know how to feel like I'm in it when I don't hear the din it din 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 it.
Well, I think so.
Did you peek when you were over there?
No, I didn't peek while I was over there.
I'm peeking.
Okay, now do you feel it?
I'm feeling
Or do you want
it.
it one more time?
I'm feeling it.
You're feeling it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheetah
I
print,
say animal print. I don't fucking
booty
know.
shorts, and you were wearing like black stilettos all day.